Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Pegassi Toros, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road in the snow. Of course, when it comes to the snow vehicles, I know I say this every year, but when it comes to the snow vehicles, there is no actual voting for it. However, since this officially kicks off the 2018 snow season, leave a comment down below with the vehicles you'd like to see me test, and will it off-road in the snow. I am going to be recording over the next couple of days once this video goes live, as long as we have snow, and then again next weekend when we have snow for New Year's, and get as many vehicles as I can tested, and then we'll get those vehicles up and we'll intersperse them with normal videos. You know, carry the snow out till maybe February or March this year. I won't get as many done as I did last year because I was just a little overkill. Anyways, the Toros. Going into this is like the third time I've driven this up the mountain. And going into this, I was a bit apprehensive because we know that a lot of the cars from the Arena War DLC are bouncy AF. Yes. Why do people do it that way anyway? Why do they say AF instead of saying as fuck? I don't really understand that way. Anyways, they are bouncy. Very, very bouncy cars. And I was really worried that that was going to be an issue with the Toros. But then I actually got it on the mountain and realized I wasn't really struggling all that much. I know that it looks like I'm going really slow, and it's going to look even slower the higher up the mountain we get. And it's true, I was being very, very cautious to try to keep this thing from bouncing off the trail. Plus, you know, since it's snowy and slippery, and this thing is all-wheel drive, I didn't want to have any rotation, which happens in an all-wheel drive vehicle. If you have any bit of oversteer and you gun it a little bit more, an all-wheel drive vehicle will want to rotate around. It's just what happens on really slippery surfaces. And it works in this game, too. You get case in point. That was not just oversteer. I don't know if you heard the engine or not. I had just whipped the throttle a little bit, and it's all four wheels gripped and wanted to just spin me around. Rotation. So anyway, even though this looks really slow, look at that timer. We're pretty far up the mountain to be at the 2-minute mark. In the snow, in a car that allegedly bounces, and no, not allegedly, a car that does bounce all around on every little bump that it encounters and gets really squirrely and gets really unstable. Yeah, I never once have had this thing nearly fall off the mountain. Yeah, we have issues like this where it'll jump off the trail a little bit, but I don't go too terribly far away from where I want to be at any given time. So it's kind of puzzling is, you know, how does this thing... Yeah, I know it's the #1 SUV and top speed and then lap times and all that. I think it's the top speed as well. I can't remember. A lot of content in the past couple of days that I've been consuming as well as creating, so who knows. But look at this. This is kind of what's happening here. I mean, this shouldn't be this good in an off-road situation. This is a good time for an SUV in dry conditions. But we're at the top of the mountain. 3 minutes, 7 seconds. Will it off-road in the snow? Yeah, it absolutely will. Wow, I was absolutely blown away by this. Just so you know, that actually puts it like less than 2 seconds slower than the best SUV in the game climbing this mountain. Best SUV from Will It Off-Road, which was the Rakota, which flew up this freaking mountain. And that was in the dry. And this came within 2 seconds. I can't wait to try this thing out for a regular Will It Off-Road. Did we already? We may have. I can't even remember what we did last week in Will It Off-Road. That's very sad. So yeah, the controlled descent is where I really got worried though, because here, if you start bouncing around, things can go really wrong. Going up, at least you kind of have gravity and you can get things, you know, slowed down a lot easier. Here you have gravity and it's going to want to speed you up. Yeah, so I was a bit worried about what we were going to have, so I went very cautious on the controlled descent. Maybe a little too cautious because there is one event, which we will see here in a minute, But it did have a couple close calls here and there, and it is kind of sliding all over the place. But what I didn't want to have happen was to hit a bump and then have this thing go bounce around. God, look at how horribly it handled that uneven section. There's sedans that can go over that with more grace and poise. Same with that, just bouncing all around on the landing. Not pretty at all. Not enjoyable, if I'm honest. It was, you know, kind of a clincher. You know, it just really was. Just because of that type of stuff. Look at that. It bounced all around. I was worried I was going to go flying off the edge. Got it to stop, spin back around. But we're gonna have an issue here in just a second. And it is because of the bounciness that causes it more than anything. Because there we go. This is it right here. I was still bouncing, couldn't get it stopped in time, and then we went off the side, and now it doesn't have the grip to be able to keep it from sliding down the side of the hill. I don't think I've ever in the history of wheeled off-road, either in the snow or regular, had an issue where I slide off that side of the path. I've had several other issues where the other side goes wrong after the big jump, but yeah, very weird. But anyways, this is where we would have wound up coming down anyway, so I was like, screw it, we'll just go ahead and go. Just barely tagged the tree, almost tagged that log. It's just, it's having a hard time getting the thing to stay in a straight line with the bumps and with the snow. It's just a frustrating experience all around for the controlled descent. The ascent going up the hill was fine. Oh, tree of many crashes claims a victim yet again. But yeah, going up the hill is fine. Coming back down is a bit of a struggle and nowhere near as enjoyable as the drive up. However, 3 hikers. That is 3 hikers that I did get to take in the controlled descent. So maybe not so much fun, but at least we got to claim some hikers along the way, and that's always a good thing, right? So a lovely little pirouette here at the end. Get it going. I'm like, oh, well, we're pointing the right way. Let's go. 3 minutes, 12 seconds for a controlled descent, which is not a very good time, honestly. But let's go back to the top of Mount Chiliad and a lovely sunset, I believe, here, and throw this thing off the side of the mountain. Let's see what's what. By the way, if you are watching this video and you have 4K capabilities on that sunset scene, well, I mean, switch to 4K or switch up to 4K quality. Get some beautiful scenes at the top of that mountain. Always. Oh, we're about to lose some doors. Yep, there they go. Yeah. Oh gosh. What else did we lose though? It looked like something. Maybe the other door just was underneath us or something. Almost looked like a third thing came off. But whoop. Speaking of doors, hi guys. How you doing? But yeah, taking a bit of a beating, but it is a newer vehicle, so it's not really going to have much in the way of a damage model. It's just going to get scratches, and panels aren't going to want to close, and windows are going to break, and yeah, that's going to be all we really get from this. I have expressed my disappointment in Rockstar's inability to render out damage in newer vehicles so much. Everybody knows it by now, so whatever. I was about to say I'm not going to go into it again, but I kind of just did, didn't I? But it is losing some body panels. It is losing some lights. A lot of the windows are gone. Don't hear any engine damage, though, so that's nice. 100% armor is paying enough. And look at that. I got rewarded for being a good boy. That's my good boy money. My allowance from Rockstar that doesn't even begin to cover the bills and kick in just a minute. Isn't that awesome? Oh! What did we hit? There's no telling. This is where this thing was a handful because, again, it's a bouncy vehicle. Bounces over every bump there is, and this is nothing but bumps. I mean, look at that. I can't keep it going in a straight line at all. We're just going to slide way past the point that we normally climb up. And then even as we climb up, it kicks its end up. It's like, what are you doing? We're down 1 minute, 55 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage. Most of the windows and lights are gone. The hood and the front doors are gone. The rear doors will not close. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's sitting, but to me, the right wheels look like they're slightly bent. Let me know what you think. But that's going to bring us to our next vehicle, the Vapid Clique, or Clique. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Some people call it the cliche. No, I don't believe that's how you pronounce that word. I think you're wrong. Clique I can see. Clique I can see. Cliche is spelled a completely different way. Anyway, this is a vehicle that, I don't know, when this video goes live, this vehicle may have been released. I've heard rumor that it's going to be released on Christmas Eve as a free gift, and then I've heard rumor that it's going to be released on Christmas Day as a free gift. Either way, I went ahead and put the Christmas gift livery on it. Livery, however you want to pronounce that word. And it looks absolutely ridiculous. I will hand them the credit they deserve for rendering out a 3D livery. But still, it looks ridiculous. It's kind of humiliating to drive a car with a bow and snowflakes on it. But, so this car will either be coming out the day you're watching this or the next day. So, either way, so I figured it'd be nice to jump into story mode, load up some PC mods. For single player, I do not, as a general rule, condone online mods. They just carry with them too much temptation to make an unlevel playing field for other players, and that's wrong.
I'm sorry.
I don't very often make moral judgments, but it is wrong if you are unbalanced in an online game. Sorry, it is. Anyway, however, single player, mod to your heart's content. And that's what I do. I love the mods in single player. So that's what I did. This is simple. It's through menu. You can enable weather, and so I just changed it to snow and snow on the ground. Done. Matches GTA, and the physics are the same. For those who are wondering, you can tell, you can not only hear the snow kicking up against the car like you would in GTA Online when it snows, but you can also tell by the way the car handles that it's also in snow and the way it slides around. So definitely realistic snow via menu. Which, of course, if you've been in GTA Online on PC...
Metro fucking selection!
That's cool. If you've been in GTA Online on PC and seen a modder around that was using the modified version of the menu, you know their snow works too. So, there's not a whole lot to say about this car other than I'm impressed. Again, these cars are all supposed to be really bouncy. I don't have a whole lot of time in this car. I literally drove it around the block basically once. Before this, you're looking at my second run up the mountain. I just wanted to practice once, at which point I was very impressed with how the car handled, which is why I didn't do a bunch of practice runs with it. I didn't find it all that necessary. It is kind of being a little twitchy here and there. The front end winds up hunting all over the place with the steering input. Not sure what's going on with that. I think it has a lot to do with the way the suspension responds to all these tiny little bumps in the side of the mountain, basically. Oh, 2 more hikers and another one level. This has been a good video. And since we're in story mode, we get to hear the whole thing. But yeah, look at this time. Look at this. 3 minutes again. What in the world? Muscle cars do okay in the dry. They struggle, but they do okay. In the snow, we've only done one other. And it sure didn't get a time like this. So will the Clique off-road in the snow? Yes. And didn't it do it quicker than the SUV that we just drove? I think it might have. I can't remember what the time was on that. But still, that 3:04, that's... okay, first of all, we've only done one of the muscle car in the snow, as I've said. And that thing could not get traction on any of the steep bits. And so it took like 12 minutes to get it to the top. I'm not sure that it got there, but that was, I believe, the Sabre Turbo Custom. It made it, but it barely made it. It was quite the ordeal. Whereas this was no effort. This was just no big deal. Which made me question the first time I tested it whether or not the physics were proper for the snow. So I actually went, and did some snow drifting and made sure that other cars that I know exactly how they handle in the snow were being consistent with snowy weather in GTA. And, whoa, that's the luckiest mountain line ever. Anyways, that they were being consistent. And yeah, it's all correct. We're really driving with the same physics in place from the snow. It's just this car did fantastic. It blows me away. We've had 2 just completely unexpected results. Oh, there we go. Almost drove off the side of the mountain. Look at that. That was more composed over that uneven bit back there than the SUV was. Kind of crazy. And also more composed in the jumps. So maybe this one isn't as impacted by whatever it is that makes these cars bouncy.
Yeah, dumb animal.
Michael, will you please quit hitting animals? I know, I was the one driving, but it's Michael's fault. Let's see how we do over this jump. See, look at that. Just no drama, really. So, I don't know. I don't doubt that these cars are impacted by some sort of advanced handling flag that results in a bumpy suspension and all that, but don't know. I mean, you talk about uneven areas. This is more than just curbs and railroad tracks. And it's not really been too much of an issue. I'm having an easier time controlling this than I did the Toros. Maybe the Toros just has a worse case of it. Who knows? I'll leave that to the experts to discuss. But, I had to slow down a bit there because I was heading towards Tree. I do like the base color that I have on this. I wish it was a color we could get in GTA Online. Anytime I play with story mode mods, don't even try to recreate the colors I get because I always go to either the Warren menu or the utility menu, and then I mix a custom color from there. And yeah, it's just, I always, because I'm just like, well, let's paint it something that I would love to have in GTA Online, but can't. And then I'm sad. Not really. I don't get sad because I can't paint a car in a video game. But this has been a pretty easy run until now, when I decided, to just broadside a pickup truck for no good reason. But we're down at 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Let's take it back to the top of Mount Chiliad and see what we do. By the way, this thing was more composed on that controlled descent than the SUV was, which is why it got down a lot quicker. Love that muscle cars start with a wheelie now, because that makes that jump even that much more dramatic. There are, of course, in story mode, boulders that roll away.
What is this
What
shit?
is this shit indeed, Michael? It's a YouTuber trying to find his niche in the world. Anyways, there's boulders that roll away that aren't there in GTA Online because, God forbid, we have dynamic props in GTA Online because of old-gen consoles.
What is this bullshit?
Michael, language, dude. I'm trying to get revenue here from advertisers. But yeah, so those boulders right there. The obstacles we don't normally have to deal with, but you can shove them out of the way. This slows things down a little bit and does a little bit more damage, except does it really? I mean, kind of look at this thing. Like, after I did the run, I'm like, do I have the auto repair function turned on? But I didn't. I checked. It was not enabled. It's just this car it's not taking any damage. The doors haven't come open. Windows aren't breaking for some reason. I mean, at least to me, they don't look broken. I don't get it. The headlights are out. We know that much. But you would think on some of these hits that we would have lost some windows by now. But no, they're fine. Like, that should have taken out the windshield. But look, there's still a windshield there. Unless I'm seeing things. Maybe I'm wrong. When I render this out to do my voiceover, I render it in 720p. But when I edit it, I'm looking at the 1080p image. Even though this is in 4K, I don't have a 4K monitor. Ask me how I do that wizardry sometimes. It's pretty impressive. But I want to get a 4K monitor. But yeah, I don't think there's any damage. There might be busted windows. I don't think I have it listed on the screen, but I don't know. You tell me in the comments down below. Do you think those windows are broke? I can't really tell from my 720p image here. But let's take a look at what damage I do know that we have here. The headlights are out. Minor paint damage, and I suffered humiliation from driving a car with a ridiculous bow on top. Guys, that's going to do it for the first Will It Off-Road in the Snow for the year. Don't forget to leave a comment down below telling me which vehicles you want me to test in the snow. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.